and you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind, the sports podcast for women about things that matter to us and more. So come join us on your podcast platform. Yes, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 21st episode of a WNBA State of Mind. And once again, I'm with my peoples from the Sky Show Shy to discuss basketball. We're both excited. We love other sports over here, but we are going to get into basketball today. It is my pleasure to have you kick off the 2022 season and the excitement that surrounds the league, from trades to rumors to hairdos to buckets. We've got the stories over here, WNBA State of Mind, in collaboration with the Sky Show Shy. Today we have an all-star cast of ballers, which makes for a great show. Brian, introduce yourself, my friend. You are a social media guru over there on Twitter. Elaborate on your presence over there.
Hey everybody, this is Brian, the Sky Show Shy. Just a Twitter presence out there for the Chicago Sky, trying to build the fandom there, but also just for WNBA Twitter in general. I mean, there's a lot always going on. There's so many media people, the fans are growing, the people that want to talk about it is growing. I'm just just helping out the Chicago Sky like fan base in Skytown, but also just growing it for everybody that wants to learn anything WNBA Twitter, any different parts, the hairdos, the buckets, anything from that, the whole range of it, the cap space, the salaries, the trades, the rumors. It's all great stuff. So just here to help anybody out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I'll just circle around a lot of times. I don't make a lot of comments. I don't have a lot of tweets, but you crack me up because you're such a big fan. And I try to tell people, yes, I am a baller. I'm a former WNBA player, but I am a bigger fan of the game than I ever was a basketball player. And so sit back and see people that are, their presence on Twitter and, just to laugh at some of the statements. There's a lot of things that are going on right now. In her story, this year was the best year for women's basketball in general. In regards to the attendance in the NCAA and the WNBA. And some numbers would be that the WNBA averaged 403,000 viewers, up 20% over 2021. Okay, so the presence is out there. It's big now. And, elaborate on your experience in Chicago this year.
No, for sure. With the NCAA, it was in like Minnesota, so it's pretty close by. But you could see just the fan bases going up there. Of course, South Carolina, UConn, their fan bases are strong. They travel well. It's growing definitely on the NCAA space. For Chicago, I actually was just recently reviewing some videos of my own, just like looking at the crowd at different points in time in that season. I looked at the game. At the end, the last regular season game, panned the whole crowd. And yeah, there's just empty seats. The Sky was going through a lot of issues. They weren't the Sky of the playoffs that we know now. But the crowd wasn't exactly what you'd hope from a WNBA crowd from a team that has Candace Parker, Vandersloot, and all the talent that they had then. It was kind of just with the wins and the losses. The hype wasn't right quite there yet. But then I had the same angle of during the last season, the last game of the postseason, the game 4 against the Phoenix Mercury, pan the crowd, every seat filled, every person out there cheering, super motivated, super into the game. And it's crazy because that's the growth you see right there. But you definitely want to see that growth from the finals the whole time, from game 1. You want these fans to get dedicated, motivated from the start. And winning a championship in Chicago is definitely a way to spark that up, to boost that up. This is a good time for and just personally for Chicago Sky, this is a good time to kind of start growing those seeds, start growing that fan base, those people that keep coming in regular season games, any kind of time they want to go out and like enjoy really good, really great, really fun basketball. So yeah, I mean, you see the really good fan bases out there, the Seattle, the Minnesota, the Phoenix, like the really dedicated ones. And all those, I mean, there's the collecting amongst all of them is the championships, and then the fan bases that kind of just really grew attached to those teams. So hoping Chicago can get there in these futures.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe it 100% undoubtedly that Chicago, they have the fan base. It's already been there. It was there, when they had the WBL. It was there when they had the ABL. Those fans are still there. So,
Sure.
As long as they continue to feed the baby, it's going to be fine. And that's all the more reason why preseason needs to be on TV. Let's talk about, let's discuss the draft. And we're gonna circle back to the TV. Of course, I'm always talking about that. I was on WNBA TV with my face on it anyway. Let's discuss the draft and which teams you feel got the best of it, and then I'll go.
Okay. I think to start, I want to say like Washington Mystics. I think they had the number 1 pick. Yeah. I think that like I kind of like kind of what they did there. They had number 1 pick. They traded out of it. But I think they got the player that they wanted, Shakira Austin, still. I think like the game plan, like that has the talent that fits what they're kind of trying to do for this season, for future seasons. I mean, I feel like I watched a few different videos with her. She was able to get a lot of spotlight from different like media teams, and she seems like a strong personality that really kind of wants to win and do really well. And this is kind of not even WNBA draft, but I'm gonna sneak in a rookie that's gonna be a rookie but has played overseas for a long time, and that's Rui Machida. She's a rookie in like the sense this is her first WNBA season. She's a point guard. I think if we watch like the Olympics, she played with Japan, and they played, I mean, just really out of their minds really well. She was a strong assister, and I think kind of that doesn't really count as like WNBA draft because it's like outside of it, but I think those rookies together is something that will help Washington as they navigate even like health issues and trying to build back their health. But that's where my start is. I'd love to hear yours too.
Oh my goodness, I got a couple of takes, but I'm gonna have to circle back.
For sure.
The whole Mystic thing, because I'm glad that you gave me that perspective, because I was trying to figure out what the heck that they were trying to do when they got rid of Howard. And I love to see the teams that actually pick up the kids that I do my virtual scout, and I throw up a scout of those players up there. Kind of wonder if people are watching, and then you see them pick those kids up. I'm like, yeah, those kids are gonna be a real good. So I'm glad that you agree with my opinion. But first of all, my draft thoughts. Dallas got a great pick. Okay, with a girl right out of your area, Veronica Boston out of Northwestern. I think they got a great pick with her. All right, that was absolutely fantastic. Atlanta, okay, got the Rookie of the Year in Howard. Okay, have to be an active guy for her not to be. And they got her to go with another rookie sensation, Naz Hillman. Okay, so they stole her. In addition to vets, Cheyenne Parker, Billings, Dupree, and off-season catch, Erica E. Weezy Wheeler. Okay, Tiffany Hayes is on the bubble. She gonna have to ball out this season. Period. Okay. Los Angeles got lightning quick. Okay, with probable starters, Taya Coper, it could be Brittany Sykes or Kennedy Carter.
A lot of options there, yeah.
Woo! Christy Tolliver is going to be Peter Cottontail. All right, she's going to be picking apart defenses, dropping eggs to Liz Cambage. And now, all of a sudden, she got Katie Lou, who has the draw and kick offense this year. LA is going to be a problem. LA is straight from, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Bottom line. Now, Indiana stole the draft. Indiana stole the draft.
Yeah.
The reason why is they got a whole starting five, baby. They picked Melissa Smith,
Number 2.
Emily Angstler, one of my faves, Lexi Hall. Stole Queen Egbo. Okay? Point guard standout Destiny Henderson. In the offseason, okay, now she got a chip on her shoulder, acquire Bria Hartley from Phoenix. Okay, who needs to show improve this season, probably will. To add to Tiffany Mitchell, who has to ball out this year. They're not expected to win the season. And they traded Tierra McGowan. Couldn't wait for her no more.
Yeah, that's a lot of options. And I actually just watched the preseason game yesterday against the Fever in the Sky. And yeah, they're rookies. They have talent. They're new to the league, but they have the skill set to do something. Queen Egbo, I think, had a double, 15 points, 10 rebounds. Lexi Hall's out there competing. Everyone all the rookies out there, they're getting a chance here. And it's such an infusion of new pieces, new thoughts, even new kind of mindsets going into it, that I think that's what you want from a team full of rookies that wants to see if anyone here can really produce and be a really strong WNBA star or player, or just anywhere higher in the WNBA. And that's that it kind of, you like how it looks. For even me, I definitely like how it looks. So just this is an opportunity for them, and you're giving them all the chance they can to develop. And I think that's what you want when you're trying to build something again from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really, really excited to watch, especially those 4 teams that I called out. Teams that are gonna continue to press on. Seattle, they got their new gym, of course. They're gonna play well. They deserve the new gym. Seattle,
definitely,
get out of there. They needed to get out of that arena as much as New York needed to get out of the Garden. So it's just it's a new and it's a fresh start. I'm looking to see what they're gonna do, how they're going to reshape. With everything being absolutely new this year. There's a lot of names, but I want to see how they play together this year. Names were together last year, and we fell short. So there's not going to be any bragging on my part about my team this year. They got to show improve. We dropped the ball last year, not winning the championship last year. We should have won it. We had the pieces. We had the intricate pieces to win last year, and we didn't. Now we've dismantled everything to only rebuild it. And some people this year have got to put up. We got all of these Olympians, and we're seeing all of this stuff that you're putting out there on social media. But can we put on the floor and play? Because all of those accolades don't mean anything until we win a championship.
Yeah, for sure. Throughout the whole league, there's just a lot of talent, a lot of just stories and narratives of just players that you could clearly see that they want to win, they want to get this through, they want to see this whole thing through. And across the league, every team has somebody that just really wants to show up and just show out and show kind of their worth in the whole WNBA sphere. And I definitely agree with Los Angeles and Atlanta. I think kind of there's veterans there that want to win and want to be in the playoffs and want their face out there and want everything they can do to get to the next step. And it's really gonna be a great season.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, rumors have it that, various critiques for the WNBA draft, which is always good, but I heard a lot of flack. And, WNBA Twitter, when I come at them, it's because, enough is enough. You guys are just not educated enough to be making the tweets that you make. The WNBA draft should be an experience for all, and not just the top 10 or the first round players. How do you feel about that issue?
Yeah, it definitely, and I'd love to hear your experience, your thoughts about this too. But I think how short everything all is for these rookies, for these draftees, or for these college players that have completed their whole 4 or 5 years or however many, and they're going to this next step. I mean, I would just love to see them just see like New York, see what the profession of like WNBA player is like. It's what it has, what it has. Like it's showing off like the WNBA more to these players. I guess it's just another way to show them that why they want to join this league. I mean, these are like 4-year, 5-year talents going through like so much of their own like professional careers and lives. And this is kind of just like a celebration of it. And that'd be great to have. I mean, definitely like money and logistics wise, but like maybe 12 or 16 of them just kind of come through, just to be there in person in New York. We know like the NBA has like so much money. WNBA is also trying to get there. But like just to bring these people in and show them kind of just again, a celebration of their whole kind of college careers. And then of course the broadcast itself is fast paced. They're trying to fit it into like an hour, 2 hour or whatever time slot. And so they just slide in names, and you could see like reaction videos online of a player like just getting drafted just on like the little the scroller, the ticker, and not like the announcement itself. And I mean, yeah, I just feel like you'd want to change that. You want to get this experience great.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. 25 years later, we got to get it right. I was one of those players who was sitting in Virginia, waiting for a telephone call. Definitely would have, and felt like I deserved an experience like that. Anybody who's a potential draft should be in the room, should be in the building, and get the opportunity to experience all of that. We have to stop with always, having it be an experience for who they choose they want to have the experience for. And just some certain things that are happening that now the general public is starting to recognize, because the players aren't going to say anything about it. There's so many things that go on that the players just don't say about it for fear of backlash. But, those days are long gone. Those days are over. And it's about, really speaking up. And, even to myself, I have to get to a point where I start to speak my piece, and they really don't want that. There's too much going on that needs to come to the light. I'm a respectful individual. I'm God-fearing, and my mother taught me to be respectful and not speak bad about people. But when people are continually doing things that are not right, then somebody needs to be the voice. And the generation that's here right now, the new generation, they don't play that mess, and they put it out there. So I'm gonna join forth right along with them, because you don't change things individually. You change things in numbers. So that's collective. Yeah. One thing that that we could definitely improve on. And like I said, this year the WNBA averaged 403,000 views, up 20% over 2021. In addition, so we can't talk about the WNBA not having enough money to give people the experience, because now they announced a $75 million capital raise, valuing the league at $1 billion. Sadly, the owners have no intent, to immediately use the funds for athlete accommodations such as travel, salary increase, which is the players' fault. Because you guys are the ones who negotiated it.
Assigned it, yeah.
So you're stuck with this salary. So, they're not going to use the funds for travel. They're not going to use it for salary increase, And since the beginning, the players' committee is only set up to take care of certain current and former players. That's got to change. And you need to have a president who's going to make that change, and not a president that's just going to sit there, reap the benefits, while the rest of the people are still struggling. That was my take, being on a player committee. Fight for everybody and not just for some. That's another thing that needs to change. In addition, the former players, and I'm always going to constantly do that. I'm always going to constantly bring stop the nonsense. Healthcare, retirement, profit sharing, and merchandise. Every jersey worn in the WNBA should be able to be purchased in the WNBA store. But the owners don't want profitability. So we stay in the profit and loss column. And that is why the 2022 season will not have any dollars allocated towards it. It still continues to be a fight.
Yeah, I mean,
talk to.
Yeah, I mean, the signed CBA definitely looks a lot tougher like right now than it did probably when it was like initially signed. I mean, the presidents and the whole like the executive committee and I mean, they definitely are like not they don't encapsulate all the players, all the range from 1 to 44 or how many. I don't think it was their intent like to like get it so restrictive and so kind of so stuck, but yeah, I think it's just the nature of just even like at that point like wanting to make sure there was a season that upcoming like in what was it? I think it was like 24 or I forget whatever year that was, but I think there was like probably a need to like they felt probably the pressure of the timeline and wanting to get something signed so something happens. But yeah, there's restrictive parts, and again like this, it doesn't have to. This conversation doesn't have to stop, or it's the CBA can be fixed, like amended, and I mean I don't know all the legal terms or the terminology or everything, but I mean if there's enough push, if there's enough collective like uncertainty or unsureness about the CBA, the executive committee can still like step up now and reach out and see what can be amended and it could be changed, and the 75 million like evaluations come through, they could have a better sense of what it's going to and how it's helping them if it's not helping them in like the salary or the travel aspect. There is, and I'm hoping that there is just conversation constantly happening now with Kathy, with just knowing where this league is and making sure the players aren't getting hit at any part of it and helping both sides. That it probably is. Yeah, the players need to. We all just. I think I guess fans or WNBA Twitter, we want to see the players kind of just keep growing their side of it and help their part. We don't really know all the owners or anything. They're not as visible as these players are, and of the players of the stories we know of the basketball we've seen them play. So it's tough, but I mean, this conversation has to just keep going and collective thinking.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, Kathy Engelbert, you know, I mean, I pray for her because she's out there to get her head cut off. You know,
for sure. I mean, everything
that happens, you know, it's a reflection of her. It's a reflection of her. And I'm gonna tell you out here, all these fans out there, you gotta cut that mess out. That woman is not making any decisions. Okay, it's all of the owners. Whatever they tell her, that's how it is. And there's minimal negotiation once it comes down the pipe, and she has to do exactly what is being told. Now, there was no leverage. Now, let's back it up. There is leverage now. Okay, Athletes Unlimited uncovered a baby. Okay, so now there's leverage. There is another place to play. When there is no other place to play, then now all of these things that the league has been suffering for years can continue on. As long as the WNBA is over here playing games and Athletes Unlimited is continuing to grow, eventually there's going to be a problem. Because somebody else is going to come up with $1 million idea. There's owners like Mark Davis all over the world who have the kind of money to invest in a women's basketball league if they so choose. If the WNBA doesn't get themselves together, they're going to find themselves in a secondary place. They're not going to be number one. They're going to be number two. And it's going to happen overnight, and it's going to slap them in the face because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not bringing in the people that can help because they don't want help. It's not a profitable league. They do not want to show a profit. And that's the problem, okay? And it continues to be the problem until somebody else emerges. And they will.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. That's great. That's a great point. I mean, yeah, again, like throughout this offseason, we saw Mark Davis and Joe Tsai kind of just speak out, say the fines that they received, willing to pay the $1 million contract to the coaches. And then AU, it was small. It was as small as the different like players in the league, but the growth, the social media aspect, the impact that kind of had, it was there, and you could see the players enjoyed it. And if fans see that players enjoy it, why would they want to go like support the place where the players are enjoying it more? That's even if it's not like exactly AU, but if like maybe if money funding came in really strong to AU, then that can grow. And I don't know the whole history of it, but it feels like what happened with like WNBA and like ABL. You probably have this like history more down than I do, but it was kind of like the ABL was kind of growing, or it was getting to like a better point to try to take the number one spot. And at that point, like that's when like the WNBA was, or NBA even, like kind of came in to try to make sure that the number one spot still stay within the NBA family. And if a competition or something else comes up, I think it would put pressure on NBA, WNBA to make sure that instead of the sting, the coasting, just no major profits to really like put that influx and get the WNBA league to a league that we kind of all know that it can be, even like with financial or any issues, but there's a higher ceiling that the WNBA can go, and I think we all kind of feel it. And if there's that pressure, that could start changing things up. It's pretty crazy. It all can get pretty crazy out there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you got your star players beginning to defect because all of a sudden somebody decided to invest a whole lot of money in another league, with a better plan, and not having travel issues because you're sitting in one city, which is a better plan than any plan that's been out there. You can bring everybody all into one place. They got problems right now. They don't see it. They're not discussing it, not talking about it. But I can tell you this. You got ESPN who decided to give AU a contract, and now turn around, let somebody else dump some money on there, and see how players start affecting. And overseas will and should always be a viable option. It promotes growth, it promotes development, and financial gain. It is not a supplement to your income. It is financial gain, because they pay more over there than they pay here. So let's not get that construed and people start going, and trying to devalue FIBA and start trying to devalue the Euro Women's League. Let's not do that, because that's always been our bread and butter. Okay, we can't start biting the hand that feeds and start whining and saying, it's overseas. No, overseas is what's kept us, and it's going to continue to keep us. And you don't have a damn option in the world. So stop trying to kill that idea. Got some of those players over there in the WNBA. Now let's stop it. From the committee all the way down. Stop putting that idea out there, because somebody needs that. You may not need it, but somebody needs it. WNBA has grown. Okay? But I can tell you this, they don't wake up. Athletes Unlimited is coming right along with some other people. Bringing it back as we approach the 2022 season. What things can the WNBA focus on moving forward to improve? And then finish up. Give us some Chicago predictions.
I appreciate it. Definitely. I guess for improve, I guess just to start, an overarching thing that'll happen, we'll be to think about is just like free Brittany Griner. Just she's still in Russia. If it's a push to talk about it more, to not talk about it more, what other way? I hope the WNBA kind of just knows what direction they want to say and what they want to speak out their mind out, and what they want to do, like all about it, because it'll be an overhanging thing. They definitely the shoe drive that all teams committed on, something that Brittany Griner has always been so personal about and helping with her charity for. So definitely pushing that makes a lot of sense, donating shoes and all that. But just it's going to be an overarching thing, and I guess it's not really an improvement, but it's just something the WNBA should have an idea what to do with the situation. And I guess just other parts, like as you said, like travel or injuries, plane travel. It's a compressed season. It's short. It flies by. The games are pretty constant. I think they're trying to, with the games, like a back-to-back or something, so players don't have to travel as much. They're still in that arena or that area for a little longer period so they could play like a back-to-back or something, or like a home or like 2 away games or something like that. But yeah, that travel, the plane travel, the news report from I think Sports Illustrated about Josiah and the fines and the chartered planes and everything. Those are kind of the improvements that hopefully can be done with all like with all that we know now about it now and the fines and everything. If that could be kind of improved mid-season, in season at some point there, I think those are kind of the main 2 improvements I could see for the W. And I guess I can go. Or I don't know if you want to speak on that at all, or WNBA improvements at all.
I mean, I put my take out there on the things that I feel like that can improve. You know, I'm not at this point in my life. You know, 26 years. The WNBA has been around. It's going to be the 26th season. I'm not really all about those little small intricate improvements anymore. I need to see major improvements, and I'm talking about the behind-the-scenes improvements. And coming from the former player perspective with health insurance, and also, you know, viable programs to, you know, carryover programs for players that are transitioning. And I don't care if they just transitioning or they're still transitioning at this point right now. Okay, we need to have better programs in place for former players, and also we need to have a better situation where we help more in the transition, not be so transparent in the background with former players. All of that needs to be cleaned up. I could go on and on. My issues are deep. You know, I'm not looking at these little improvements that people need. I'm talking about things that are over time, that are huge. For retirement, I'm talking about things that have to do with the improvement of people's lifestyles that have played in the league, and especially those that haven't. And so until I see those things, then I'll stop with my heat. You know, but other than that, you know, I want to thank you for mentioning BG. I pray for her all of the time, because God is great. Great is our Lord, and he's greatly to be praised. And God is in the midst of Brittany. She shall not be moved. God will help her, and right early. And I put that up all of the time. That is Psalms 46. It's reassurance that she's going to be okay. She's not starving. They're not mistreating her over there. So whatever she has to go through, the process that she has to go through at this point right now, I know that they're concerned about her mental health. I think everything is okay for her. She got to do the time, whatever it is that they say, and then they're going to let her come home. And it's going to be in that order. If they let one person come home, they're going to let her come home too. And it's going to be a pecking order, however they're going to let her come home. But they're going to let her come home. You know, she's valuable, not only to us, but she's also valuable to them. She's done a great service for the country of Russia, for them to be treating her like a slave, or however we may perceive in our mind that they may be treating her. They're gonna let her go. God's not gonna let her mistreat them mistreat her. They're not. It'd be a different story if she was just a regular Joe Smo passing through that country and she did that. It'd be a different story. She'd be under the gym. She'd be under the jail. Okay? She got value, and they're gonna do something about it. We just gotta be patient, and we gotta be smart enough to know that silence is golden. It's not that we don't care, but we already know how they feel about her and her livelihood. So why do we want to keep on shedding light to it? Why do we want to keep on making comments about her wife when they know that it's a problem? Shut your trap. Well, my coach told me, Fred Williams, my God, so silence is golden. Every single time I wanted to bark, every single time I felt like I wanted to say something, every single time I was going to open up my mouth and burn myself, he said, silence is golden. I appreciate that. And remember, download the WNBA State of Mind, like it, share it on your podcast player. V, you know it's always great to have you on my show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always great. It's always going to be fire. You know, every time we collab, I get more than 250 tweets. Are you kidding me? Anything you want to say to the people? Anything we could expect from you, from the Shy Show, before we close it out?
No, I mean, I'm just at my social medias on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. Twitter is, of course, the biggest thing. WNBA Twitter, at the Sky Show Shy. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely try to get stuff percolating. I know I made like a community, like a Twitter community, just kind of Skytown fans, Chicago Sky fans together. Again, a lot of big things are going to be happening in Chicago. The repeat season, All-Star game going to be there. I mean, definitely getting like in face-to-face interaction would be great too, even with like all of WNBA Twitter. I'll see if I could try setting those things up for like during All-Star or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just all me just trying to build this community, get out there, get people knowing about just Chicago Sky, the WNBA, and the great players, the great league that it is. So yeah, that's just me. And thank you, Goody. Thanks for having me again.
And you're listening to a WNBA State of Mind. I got my guy B over here with me. I Show Shy, chopping it up. Did you just say the repeat season?
Oh yeah, it's back to back. It's back to back
right there for you.
It's back to back.
That's how they coming at us this year from Shy. Sammy Sosa, peace out. All my people, stay tuned.
Back to back.